Okay, Mike, here we go. I'm going to build you up. Ready? I'd say you have, a pretty impressive resume. I mean, you play an instrument, you're a TV host, you're an entrepreneur, and now an animated character?
An animated character, that's right. I voiced my first ever cartoon for the Coalition for a Strong Nebraska.
Well, it's time to find out why. I'm sure people are quite curious. Here to tell us, welcome Joe Giles. Hi.
Good to see you, Joe.
Good to see you. It's great to be here.
Everything turned out okay, right?
It's perfect.
Good,
we had our debut yesterday at the Nonprofit Association of the Midlands Summit. So it's all about nonprofits and helping them learn how to be advocates. And we show the cartoon there, and it featured Mike's voice. So
we're going to get to that, but before we do that, I want to familiarize people. What is the Coalition for Strong Nebraska?
So we are a group of about 65 nonprofits, and what we do is we bring those nonprofits into our coalition, we train them, we give them education, and learn about how to advocate for policies that improve the lives of all Nebraskans. We are an anti-poverty coalition, so all of our policies are about helping people strengthen their lives.
Yeah, and part of that is education and awareness and how a bill becomes law in Nebraska. That was kind of an important part, aspect of what we did in this animated feature film. This is a small little short clip. Explain what that was all about.
Well, I don't know if you all remember from the 70s, Schoolhouse Rock. There was a little video called "I'm Just a Bill, I'm Only a Bill," right?
For sure,
Sitting on Capitol Hill. So we thought it would be fun to take some inspiration from that and create a Nebraska version of how a bill becomes a law, something that's animated, something that's accessible, and so that's what we wanted to do. What's interesting about Nebraska is that there's one house of government, so it's not like the federal where you have the House and the Senate and everything's going back and forth. Nebraska is so unique, so we wanted to highlight that and show that it's accessible and easy for people to figure out how a bill becomes a law.
Well, and you decided to use the big guy's voice right here.
We were.
Why Mike? Let's just ask that.
It seems obvious to me, Joe.
It is pretty obvious. I was trying to figure out who we should have, and I heard Mike's voice in my head, and I thought, he would be a great person to be our cartoon character.
I always hear his voice in my head too. It's like a nightmare that never quits.
And so this is a clip of the video that we're going to show. It's really a training video, isn't it?
It really is a training video. We want people to understand the process and realize that anyone can have an idea. They can go to a nonprofit partner. They can work with that person. They can work with their state senator, and then hopefully their idea will become a law.
Well, let's take a look and hear how you did, shall we?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Bill, these changes are called amendments. Senators, staff, nonprofit partners, advocates, and lobbyists use amendments to add thoughts on how to make you even better. All of this work is getting you ready for the second round of debate called Select File.
Select File is the next crucial round.
So as you can see, it really takes people through the whole process of how a bill becomes law, from the beginning to just having that idea, which is right there, until it gets signed into law.
Right. And what's interesting is that every bill that's introduced in Nebraska gets a public hearing. And so that was one of the reasons why we wanted to show this, is that we as community members, as the public, we have a voice in the process, and it's intended for us to have an opinion, to share that opinion with senators so that they can make the hard decisions that impact all of our lives.
Right. So this is a training video, but what other types of training does the coalition offer?
So we do weekly webinars on not only how a bill becomes a law, how to use the Nebraska Legislator website. It's a great site that people can do a bill tracker. They can find out who their senator is. So we do those type of trainings. We did a really fun interactive training a couple weeks ago where we had people come in, we gave them a bill that they were assigned to, and then they had to rotate through a bunch of different stations where they had to email a senator, they had to have a face-to-face meeting with them, they had to do committee testimony. So a lot of times people get Facebook messages that says, call your senator, and people think, I think I want to do that, but I'm not quite sure what's going to happen on the other end of the call, what happens if I send an email. So we had people actually do it. So then they had the practice, and then they had the confidence that they can do it again.
Yeah, I spent about 8 years covering the legislature as a news reporter, and so I spent a lot of time down there. And I think it's fascinating how the whole process works, and people just don't realize that they can get, it's not hard to get involved, you just need to know how to do it. And we often hear sometimes that nonprofits don't really have a voice when it comes to the state legislature and getting bills advanced. Is that true? And can you lobby? Can nonprofits lobby? How does that work?
Well, it's interesting because most nonprofits tell us they can only educate, and so we tell people if it's in air quotes, then that's
Right.
then you're probably lobbying, right?
Yes,
So actually, Congress passed a law in 1976 that allows nonprofits to be able to lobby. You just have to be able to do it up into a certain limit, and so it's really easy to go on our website and figure out what your lobbying limit is. But essentially, nonprofits have a voice.
Yeah.
In Nebraska, there's about $500 million that nonprofits contribute to our state's economy.
That's a huge impact.
Which is huge.
is.
So nonprofits can have a voice and should have a voice on behalf of the clients that they serve.
Right. Well, if you want more information on the Coalition for a Strong Nebraska, give them a call at 402-493-3987 or head on over to strongnebraska.org.
And the animated video can be seen on the website as well?
The animated video is on the website. We've got these little cards that we are sharing with nonprofits that they can lobby.
Will you autograph that for me?
We've got some stickers for you.
Oh, thank you.
I love nonprofits.
You take the ones in Spanish and I'll take the ones in English.
I got it. So
we just want people to download the video and share it and learn about how they can be involved in the process.
Thanks for having us be a part of your project. We appreciate it, Joe.
Thank
Thanks a lot.
you. If you need an actress,
yes,
I'm available.
Thanks a lot. Some of the challenges